This episode of the Online Ocean Symposium, coming to you live from NOAA's Ocean Exploration 2020. This national forum is discussing and shaping ocean exploration policy, and it is the first of its kind. The symposium is lucky enough to have our finger right on the pulse, so the question throughout the conference has really been, what does the future of ocean policy look like?
The US is a pretty enlightened nation. You can tell from my accent, I'm not American. But I've been very happy to move here and work here because it's one of the few countries on Earth that actually has had a policy about ocean exploration, which dates back from a thing called the President's Commission that was held in 2000. The meeting has been about 100 invited guests for the whole thing, of explorers of all different flavors and shapes and sizes from across the US and beyond, to help shape what a program, what kind of things are the priorities for our understanding the ocean and hence the Earth in the future. And the real thing that we did yesterday was we've recognized that part of the key to exploration is actually using modern communications technology. And so for that reason, although the auditorium here at the Aquarium of the Pacific, where we've been hosted, could only take about 100 people, we had it packed to the seams, but there was no reason why we couldn't invite the rest of the planet to join in the debate as well. And so that's really what yesterday's online hangout was for. We had people out on research ships, for example, who are actually out doing the ocean exploration right now. We're taking time out between fire drills and launching their robot submarines to come and join in with their insights of what was going on. We had experts from the other side of the country who couldn't be here for various reasons joining in. And then we had basically anybody who wanted to, for the website, could join in through instant messaging and send in their ideas as well. So it was a complete democratization of the whole process.
I was a naval officer serving in submarines. I was a lieutenant for you, Chris. I was a lieutenant in the Navy. Qualified in submarines. I was wearing my gold dolphins, and the Navy, the Office of Naval Research, had purchased this submersible vehicle called the Bathyscaphe 3S. They put out a call for volunteers. I put my hand up. I volunteered. I passed their very high standards for joining the program because I was the only volunteer, and went to the project as the military commander, the captain, if you will, of the 3S. That was January '59. As we bought it from the Picards, it could only dive to 6,000 meters, 20,000 feet. So we initiated a program to upgrade it. By the end of '59, we had made a dive to 18,000 feet. Early January '60, we went to 24,000 feet. Everything was working well. We thoroughly tested it. So then we decided to go for the deep dive. So that was in January 1960 when we actually made the dive to 35,840 feet. After we surfaced from the dive, Jacques and I were sitting topside waiting to be picked up by the mothership. We discussed the question of how long would it be before the next people were out there, and we finally agreed that it would be 2 years. Well, we were off by a half century. It was 52 years, and then that's when Jim Cameron went back of March of last year.
So my name is David, and I'm one of the co-founders of OpenROV, and OpenROV really was a project that my friend Eric and I started in our garage. We wanted to explore this underwater cave, and we didn't have the tools or the money to do it, so we just started building our own underwater robot. And the way that we did it was we didn't know what we were doing, so we asked the internet for help. And we created this website and now this community of, I guess, kind of DIY ocean explorers at OpenROV.com, and we've been here at this weekend kind of bringing that perspective because the technology is changing. I mean, everybody knows that things are moving really quickly. There are cell phones and iPads and the maker movement, digital fabrication. This is really kind of unlocking all this latent potential, and there are a number of people who are using that to kind of push the boundaries of what's possible with ocean exploration, and we're trying to be a voice for those folks. And one of the ideas that we brought up in the hangout yesterday was to kind of try and mirror what was happening with astronomy, because astronomy's done a great job of inviting amateurs into the fold to participate in the actual science that's happening. And one of the big drivers for amateur astronomy has been these star parties that these people have. So they just get together and go out and look at the stars. And I don't think there's anything stopping us from throwing similar ocean exploration parties and just get people talking and asking people what they're curious about, what they want to explore.
I was selected last year as North America's Rolex Scholar from the Our World Underwater Scholarship Program, which is the premier opportunity of its kind for young people looking to get into the underwater world. whether that's through science, which is my personal background, communication, filmmaking, undersea medicine, really anything that happens under the water. Each year there are 3 scholars selected from around the world and given the opportunity to train and travel and study with the best leaders in the world in all these different fields. Too much of science has stayed within only the science community, and my real passion came in getting that out there. And so the opportunity I've been working with lately is I was selected as a Science Communication Fellow for the Nautilus Live Exploration Program, which is Dr. Robert Ballard's Deep Sea Exploration Program, which is streaming live exploration now. So Nautilus Live is the platform that brings all of this ocean exploration out. This is a technology called telepresence. These are tethered, unmanned ROVs capable of diving to 4,000 meters. What you're seeing here is an artifact elevator from shipwreck 15577, which is also known as the Monterey shipwreck. It was the shipwreck found originally by oil exploration, explored first by NOAA's exploration program, the Oceanic Explorer.
And it seems like this is becoming more and more familiar and more like just the standard procedure of having these amazing science ships out there, just broadcasting data, broadcasting video, so that we can bring in all these different interested parties, whether they're scientists or university students or even K through 12 kids who just live in the middle of landlocked areas that don't have a connection to the ocean to be introduced to this amazing deepness.
So ESRI is a mapping company as well. We are the world's leaders in geographic information systems, so that combines maps with database and analytical capabilities on steroids. We now have a new ocean initiative, and we see ourselves as carrying on the tradition of Heezen and Tharp in terms of wonderful, beautiful, but also scientifically accurate oceanographic cartography. So ESRI is a privately owned company that's headquartered in Redlands, California, and I serve as the chief scientist of the company to advise the CEO and the directors and the software developers on all kinds of different science innovations, ranging from geology and geophysics to hydrology to sustainability science, conservation biology, but also ocean science.
The ocean community, as I grew up in it over the last 50 years, has been sort of close-knit. I don't know if that's the nature of sailors. You go out to sea and it's kind of a solitary life or what. But we have been sitting on a lot of stuff, and now we have all these wonderful facilitators. And
I think it's so exciting to see this new technology developing, not only for the deep, not only for these areas that we've literally never gone before, but I think to help people understand how much more we have to look. It's exciting to see these technologies move into the diving, either the recreational or the technical diving, in the shallower water sites as well.
The Virginia Institute of Marine Science has created this story map using our free template to identify the places where they are monitoring and assessing the largest fish. And so they have created this story map that shows the locations on a cartographically beautiful base map on the right, their photography on the left, and then the artist renditions of these different kinds of species, so that not only scientists can relate to this, but that the general public can relate to this as well. So when we go to sea with ships, and also now with these autonomous underwater vehicles and these ROVs, that seafloor comes alive in greater detail, and this is along the Tonga Trench.
David's OpenROV project with Eric has put out, 500 of these ROVs already around the planet. People have them. They can go do stuff with them, and they have cameras. They can go learn tomorrow about new places people haven't looked before. And it may not be the prettiest stuff, but it's going to be, it's infinitely better than what we have right now, which is a black screen.
The technology is moving so fast, and it's getting so much more accessible that, it's hard for any of us to keep up, even someone like me who's staring at this stuff all day.
But the big discovery was visiting another planet, an entire life system that we really didn't know much about on this planet that we're on. A parallel life system that knows nothing of the sun. So they had to sort of send out, like for pizza, they had to send out for some biologists and revisit this place. So that's a serendipity, and that's the essence of exploration they're trying to get at for the last 2 days here. You don't know what you're going to find. And to Congress and people pay the bills, that's not sufficient. Tell us what you're going to find, then we'll give you money. We don't know how to do that. Exploration is the predecessor to research.